Just got a notice. Okay.
All
I had
right,
it
let's
in
get
the chat.
started. If everybody would please mute themselves unless you have a question when we move forward. Welcome everyone to day one and the official debut of the prosperity planning system. I'm really excited to bring this to all of you today and to all of you watching the future recording of this. I am Suzanne Taylor King, and I am a life and mental performance coach for entrepreneurs. Most of you here know me or have worked with me in the past, and this might be a little different today than what you're used to hearing from me. Today, we're going to talk about the mindset and the thoughts that we need to have in order to plan for our life and our business in this up-leveled way that I'm asking you to do. So this way of thinking about your business is a little bit deeper than you might be used to going. And one of the things that really struck me when I realized I was doing this system and started keeping track of it was that when I did it, things flowed in my business and in my life much easier than when I thought I was above doing this type of thinking and or too busy to think about my business and my life in this way. And I will tell you, if you adopt this way of thinking and planning about your business, you will be setting yourself up to be different than 90% of entrepreneurs. And that differentiation factor could be the key to making more money in less time, having more time off, and having a more abundant life and business. So let's start first with the definition of prosperity. This struck me in a really big way when I was in a coaching program with Brian Johnson. Many of you know I've worked with Brian Johnson in his program for 3 years, and it's called Optimize. It's all free now, the content at optimize.me. And one of the things he taught me was that the word prosperity, to be prosperous in your business, has nothing to do with money. And that sent me on a different outlook about my business, that prosperity actually meant to be moving forward with hope. And that made me feel different about what I was creating in my business. Feel free to unmute yourself if you have any insights around how that feels to be prosperous in your business, even if you're not making any money and you're moving forward with hope about your business. How does that feel compared to feeling in lack about your business? And there's one or two people in this room that I know that's going to strike a chord with. Tony says it feels foreign. Hopeful versus hopeless. Yes, Mation, very good. Feel free to unmute anytime. We're casual around here. All right.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say I like that, because sometimes I spend more time in the organizing of things around my farm and animals and getting veterinary and planning hay and stuff like that, which is very, very important to my business. And it is that I want to say indirectly, but it's not indirect. I want to say indirectly it is doing my business, but
Yeah.
at that moment, in those days, few sequences of days, and conversations with my hay guy, like, what's the weather, when are you going to be able to mow and bale? That's not money making, but it's structuring my business, I suppose you could use that, but that's not quite it either. But I think you know what I mean.
Yes, and I just talked about this morning with my networking group, that it's actually, if you look at networking as taking time away from your business, or do you look at networking as time spent on your business where you're actually doing business development? It's just two different mindsets about things. But oh, and Melissa, please eat your lunch. Like, I'm a hungry girl over here. Please never go without food for me. But the other quote that really struck me in diving into prosperity was that, and I don't know who said it, when you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. And when you truly are doing what you're meant to be doing, it feels easy. You could do it all the time. You almost have to schedule your time not thinking about your business. Well, raise your hand if that ever happens to you. Yes, I will admit I have to schedule time to not be thinking about my business. So today, what we're going to do is go beyond the hard work, and we're going to get to that spot that feels easy, that feels effortless, that feels prosperous. So typical culture, social media, that hustle culture makes you feel like you're not doing enough. I have conversations like that every day with clients about feeling like they're not doing enough for other people, enough in their business, enough sales. And that, my friends, needs to change if you're really going to plan for your business. So we're going to start off with today planning your core identity. Your core identity, I learned how to do this back in 2008 with a training from my coach at the time in a gigantic group coaching program, Frank Kern. And look up Frank. He's amazing and does lots of trainings for network marketing professionals, as well as online entrepreneurs. But he teaches this concept of planning the real you. Now, for me, my core identity is rock star. I want to be a rock star, not only to my clients, not only to my family, but I want that feeling of stepping on stage and being so confident in what I'm delivering. I really don't look at the notes. I don't need slides. It's just me. It's just who I am. So let's start off with core identity. Write that down on your paper. And when you're planning your core identity, we want to consider these 4 states of being. You want to consider your well-being, your health and wellness, your creativity and inspiration. And you could draw this in 4 boxes if you'd like. That's how I do it. So well-being in the upper left-hand corner, the upper right-hand corner, your creativity and your inspiration. Your lower left-hand corner, your abundance and power. And lower right, love and connection. Now, those 4 areas of life, how do you want to show up? I'm going to give you 5 minutes here to decide how you want to show up in each one of those categories. And then we're going to envision from there. Any questions where we're at right now? Just unmute, ask away.
Yeah. So when you say how you want to show up, can you define that a little for me? Like give me some.
Sure. So in my health and well-being, I want to show up like an athlete, or specifically a Spartan athlete. I've done Spartan races. I want to be able to be strong enough that if somebody says, let's go do this on Saturday and it's 4 days away and I really want to do it, I can show up like that.
Okay.
So whatever your goal is, health and well-being wise, whether it's athlete, whether it's yogi, whether it's calm and tranquil, you decide how you want to show up in that well-being department. And then when I walk into the kitchen to make a food choice, the food choice lines up with the identity of how I want to show up.
Okay.
I want to show up like an athlete. An athlete doesn't go into the kitchen and have cookies and milk for breakfast.
Okay, thank
Okay?
you.
You get where I'm going with that, right? So, and why we're doing this, let me explain that when you truly believe who you are in these 4 categories, the world reflects back to you that exact thing. Yes, Nation, this core identity can be who you are in business, of course, but it's really who you are as a person. So Nation asked, is this for business versus other roles in your life? And I would say, yes, all of the above. All of the above. Listen, for love and connection, of course, that has to do with my family. Like I love my dog, my family. I love being a mom, but I also love creating my community. And that has to do with business. So this is who you are as a whole: life, business, relationships, excuse me, all of it. Make sense?
Mhm.
Any other questions?
No, but it's funny you say that. I was just saying the other day, I want to go skiing this winter, but I can't just pick up one day and decide to go. I sit all day. I
Mhm.
think the other day I looked and I had 600 steps, and that's not
Oh.
healthy. You know, I'm diving into my work and it's not feeding any of these areas. You know, it's literally draining every single one. But this is a good reminder that you know, like you said, prosperity is not about money. It's like, am I being prosperous in any area of my life? And when you're just giving to others that willingly take it and actually demand it, it's hard to turn back and go, oh, wait, this is where that attention is needed.
Yes. Now, when you look at your diagram, if you drew the 4 little squares, is there one of those 4 areas that really screams at you that says, oh, this one needs my attention? If there is, there's certain things you can do meditation wise, connection wise, habit wise to enhance that category.
And if you
Hi,
need all,
Melissa. Thanks for joining us.
I said, if you need all, what do you do then?
If you need all, you schedule a time with me.
All right, we have time. I'll see you Monday.
Yeah, see you Monday, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suzanne,
Okay.
Yes,
will you do me a favor and walk us through abundance and power? That's
absolutely.
the only one tripping me up.
Okay. So when you think about abundance, how do you want to show up when that word is mentioned to you? What does that word mean for you?
Would a good word be like giving? Like I
Mm.
feel like that's something like where it doesn't matter what I have, I'm always going to be able to help and give. So is
Mm,
that something
I
that
love that. I love that. Share that in the chat, everyone. Tony just shared overflow, abundant, extra. When you see your life as abundant and powerful, what does that mean at your core? I wrote down, it means my life is easy and effortless. Because when I'm abundant, whether it's financially, time, I'm able to give time to people. I'm able to give knowledge to people. That feels powerful to me. So there was something from that identity of abundance that it doesn't have to mean money either. It could be time, it could be knowledge, it could be love, it could be caring, it could be compassion, it could be empathy. And for us coaches in the room, of course, we want to show up like that. For people in the room that are dealing with clients or connections, you want to show up in abundant presence with other people, right? They want to be able to feel your presence. It's another one of my favorite words. Melissa says she doesn't have a label for each category, but have defined each with what it looks like. Yes, that's perfectly fine. Awesome. Something else to consider with abundance and power is consider the wealth component, consider the overwhelm component. So we don't want an abundance of overwhelm. What does the opposite of that look like? Ease, flow, peace, calm. One of my favorite words, 2 words, energize, tranquility. And then how about synchronicity? I want an abundance of that, where those connect the dot moments just happen. So you can get super specific with that one. Now, love and connection, this is where the work side of things can come in even more. Because if you're not leading with love and connection in your business, I would challenge you, because I bet your business feels hard. I bet your business feels forced. I bet your social media and your chores and your to-do list feels overwhelming if you're not leading with love and connection. And let's talk about authenticity. I want to show up with my love and connection in that department with authenticity. That word's a little overused right now, super trendy word right now. But think about if I showed up here talking about not being authentic, or talking about selling stuff in a persuasive way, or just something that was off brand for me, that wouldn't feel authentic for me. So I always want to feel like that. How do you want to feel? Anybody want to share some words from the love and the authenticity, or the love and connection category?
I said genuine.
Yeah. You are. I remember saying something that was Kyla, right? I can't see who said that. Who said
That was
that?
Casey.
Casey. You are. Casey, how long have we known each other?
Oh gosh, a long time,
8 years?
probably.
8 or 9 years ago, Casey and I were in a coaching program together. And I won't say I've been anything but compassionate or enthusiastic about helping her in her business, because I love her business. But it's only been in the last couple months that she's like, okay, I think it's time. That's kind of cool. I love that. I love that. And I think that comes from the authenticity piece.
Mhm.
I don't
I
care.
wrote-
Go ahead.
wrote-
Nolan.
I wrote down along the same lines, understanding and compassion is like you understand where she's coming from and how you can help, and you do have compassion because it comes from a place of true love. So of course she's going to want to do business. So that's 2 of the key words that I had down.
Yeah. I love that. All right. So now, does everybody feel complete with their 4 categories? Now, I want you to take just a step back or push that paper away from you a bit and take an overhead view of that piece of paper. And I want you to see if there's something that jumps out at you. I want you to see if there's some words or phrases that you're connecting to on a deeper level. And then we're going to write down my ideal day. My ideal day is where I can show up and then list those words that kind of jump out at you. Now, I write in a journal every morning, and each of these 4 categories, I write down the same words every morning. And it's like that conscious decision in the morning to show up like a vibrant soul force for other people, to show up like an athlete for myself, to show up compassionate, empathetic, in abundant prosperity, so that I can have more joy, love, and connection with the people that I love and the people that I serve. I like how it sounds out loud, but I write it in my own handwriting in the morning. So what's your ideal day look like when you show up like that? I know for a fact that it's not a 12-hour day sitting on your ass at your computer, not eating right, not exercising, not having connection with other people. I know it's not. I'll give you 5 minutes or 3. And when you're finished with your ideal day, go down to the bottom and just raise your hand so I can see that you're finished. Oh, I like that, Mation. Author, authentic, and authority. Very good. I like that. Melissa, we talked a little bit about that connection piece on our live last week. How that authentic connection with people. We don't need more connections, right? We just need to deepen. Yeah.
Yep.
Love that.
That's actually where I was. My 4 words were energy, intention, impact, and connection, or deeper connection.
Mm. Now, this is something that might require more time than we have today, or maybe a meditation on in the future, and come back to doing this. And I'm happy to share the worksheets for this in the members area, if that would be helpful. Just for you, Tony. All right, so who wants to share what their ideal day would look like? It could be an overhead view of your ideal day. Kyla, go ahead and say yours. I think that's powerful.
If any of you know me, you know that I'm a very wordy bee, so mine is very long. My ideal day is where I could show up authentic and creative in genuine confidence with energized focus while being calm, collected, and fully present.
I think
That's
that's
not wordy. That's not wordy at all. That's
I think everybody should save that.
I know.
I love it. Like, oh, me too.
I
Good
like
job. Anyone else?
I wrote one similar, I guess. I said, I, the compassionate and understanding Viking, am available to give my creative and innovative talents in a soothing environment.
Oh my goodness,
Oh,
write that down for me.
Nolan,
Can you put that in the
you're
chat?
Sure.
that is so good.
Now, I love how he brought in the physical image of himself that he
Love
wanted
it.
to have.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I love it. When we can stand in who we want to be physically, you know, whether it's athlete, yogi, doesn't matter. But when we can stand in that physical presence, that's an incredible addition to your business. Compassionate and understanding Viking. Love it. Love it.
Okay. Can I go next?
Go ahead, Lisa.
Okay, so I'm going to structure my ideal day around one of my days that was this weekend where I had an event, a 6-hour event that was selling my products. So my ideal day actually started the evening before, having things set up for the morning. So, okay, so my ideal day was to wake up, because I had set things up the evening before, I didn't have to struggle with, oh my gosh, what should I do first? Because I do get caught up in that if I'm not prepared. So be prepared for the day, start the day without worrying about being on time. And knowing that for each of the steps, and knowing that if I did get, the steps did get interrupted, that I would be able to work it through and then get back on track and finish it up, that area. And then this particular day, I got to the event. I had set up my tent, but lowered it, hoping it didn't blow away. I got there, it did blow away, and it broke a lot of the legs. But I was able to find the event manager, let them know that I might be late finishing my setup. And I had a tent at home that I had to go and get. So knowing that I was going to be able to deal with a problem, no matter how large it was, and for me, this was a large problem. So I didn't stress out. I just easily and comfortably went back, got the tent, set things up. My energy was good for my customers, very good. And so that part was able to have my energy and be able to compassionately understand what they were going to need from my products, not just because I don't like to sell. I like to have them
Lisa?
know what they need. And I don't know where else to go from there, but everything went well, very well. No judgment on myself about anything that I did or did not do, where I usually would be covered in that. So that,
So, Lisa,
yes,
could we say that in one sentence?
one sentence.
Yes. My ideal day is when I can show up prepared, confident, abundant, and able to handle any challenge thrown my way because I know I am prepared.
All right, that will take a heck of a lot of practice for me to able to do something like what you just
That's
did.
okay. That's okay. Because that's getting all the words that you used are how our brains work. Our brains work with all those words. My day was this, this, and this. But when we can break it down to one sentence, like I'm suggesting, it's easier to show up without all of that chatter.
Okay,
Because you just know you're prepared.
okay.
Does that resonate with more than just Lisa?
It does for me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think what ended the day with what I felt, one word at the end of the day, I felt 2 words: increased confidence.
Yeah.
And that's good for me.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So
Thank
then thank you for sharing, Lisa, and for being vulnerable with us. All right, the next step 3 in this system is to hack your belief system. So when we don't believe, affirmations really can't work if you don't believe it. So I always use the example, I can't say I want to show up like an athlete if I don't believe in my core that I am one, that I'm capable of being one, or I've been one in the past. So just like Tony said, she wants to go skiing this weekend, but she
Not this winter.
or this winter, but she hasn't been in how long? She hasn't been active. She hasn't been training. She has doubts about her abilities to go skiing, right? Okay, so how do we hack this belief system? How do we get to the point where our self-doubt and self-sabotage is something that we can put aside? This is probably the most powerful thing I've ever learned, and it's the first time I've taught it outside of my clients. So get ready. This is good. This is when you want to pay attention. I'm going to teach you how to self-hypnotize yourself. I'm going to teach you how to hack into that subconscious on a really granular level so that you can increase your belief in yourself. This is why I believe in you probably more than you believe in you, because I've done this for myself. And the difference, many people knew me before I did this, and now knowing me after I've done this, it just seems like I'm at a different point in my life, or a different point in my business, or, oh, she found success, or, oh, she started making more money, so that's the difference. No, it was this, the difference. All right. So if you don't believe in what you're telling yourself, the affirmation can't work. So where do we start? I want to suggest a way of questioning yourself, whether it's silently through meditation or through journaling, that you ask higher level questions of yourself. And I wrote down 6 as examples to give you. So this is a great place to start to get you primed for doing this for yourself. So these questions and the way you ask them are tools to truly enhance your belief in yourself, whether it's love, compassion, athlete, success in business, doesn't matter. You can use these questions. All right. So the first one is, why am I so creative at work? So now, instead of saying an affirmation about, I am creative and amazing at coming up with content, well, my subconscious is going to say, no, you're not. You struggle with that every day. Yeah. But every day I'm brushing my teeth and I'm saying, I'm creative and I'm amazing at coming up with content. And then I sit there and I can't come up with anything. My subconscious knows I'm not creative with content. I'm not amazing at coming up with content. So I'm creating a fight in my own head. So by asking myself, why am I so creative at work? Why am I so creative at work? Oh, because I know where to find content. Oh, because I know how to write. Oh, because I know my ideal client and I know what they're struggling with. That helps me be more creative. Now, who sees the difference in the affirmation? Go ahead, Melissa.
I was just agreeing. I see the difference.
All right. So the difference, right? Do you feel the difference? Saying, I am creative, And my subconscious says, no, you're not. Versus, why am I so creative? How am I so creative? So those why and how questions. Ask formations. Yes, Mation. All right, next one. Why am I going to be in flow today as I write my content? Why am I going to be in flow today as I write my book? Because I eliminate distractions, because I don't have any calls scheduled at that time, because I've scheduled time for my writing. You see, I'm actually self-coaching myself to get more writing done. Next one, why do I have such a badass level of focus? I love being focused, but I have a tendency to not be focused. So if I said an affirmation every day, I am focused, I wouldn't believe it for 2 seconds. So by creating a question where I coach myself, why do I have such a badass level of focus? When do I have such a badass level of focus? When I'm here delivering stuff like this. I haven't looked at my phone once since I've been in this Zoom with all of you. I haven't heard what's going on in my house. I haven't looked at email. I don't have notifications on. Awesome. All right, why am I so clear on my vision and my goals? Why do I operate with such profound sense of purpose? All right, so what I want you to do now is create a couple of those self-coaching questions for your subconscious. And feel free to share in the chat what you create, or unmute yourself and share with everyone, whatever you're comfortable with.
Suzanne, I wrote down the first 3, and I think you just listed 2 more in rapid succession. Are these in writing yet?
I was
Or
going
we'll
to
get
ask that
No,
too.
but I will definitely share them in underneath that Apple tab. I'll share
Yes.
all the questions that
Can
I
you
asked.
repeat 4 and 5, please?
Sure. Why am I so clear on my vision and my goals? And why do I operate with such a profound sense of purpose? And feel free to create your own with that framework of why, how, when.
So Susan, would you suggest then that we start with things we struggle with to then back into that question?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So for example, Nolan wants to show up like a Viking, right? Well, if he struggles with getting to the gym or his food routine, then why he would create questions that backed him into better eating habits or better exercise habits. If you're struggling with, say, selling or lead generation in your I hate that word, lead generation. If you're struggling with client attraction in your business, back yourself into that question. Why am I so good at sales? Why am I so amazing at attracting my ideal client to me? And you're going to back yourself into what you need to do to be that. Any other questions? Oh, Mation, did you get the last one? Or do you want me to? You did. Okay. Mation says whatever we say to ourselves before we look at it determines what we see. I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Any other questions about these I can share. Now, if you're struggling in the well-being department, I have questions. If you're struggling with creativity and inspiration, I have some questions. If you're struggling with abundance and power, I have some questions and I'll share all of those in the members area. Is there anyone in particular you want to hear some more questions from? Any one of the 4 areas? Abundant?
I was thinking love, yeah.
Okay. All right. Here's a couple for abundance and power. Why do I run $1 million a year business? Why do I run a $10 million a year business? Why do I have such a beautiful home in blank city? Why am I such a powerful attractor? Why am I such a powerful manifester? And what was the other one? Love and connection. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Why am I always surrounded by love? Why do people find me so attractive?
He is beautiful.
It's my sense of humor, honestly. Why do I have such an exciting and active dating life? Ooh, that's a good one for a single person. And here's one of my favorites. Why do I have such an amazing team of people working with me? I don't have anybody working with me. Not on a regular full-time basis like I want. So if I said as an affirmation every day, I have this I am an amazing leader. I am an amazing business owner. My subconscious might say, it's just you, honey. Instead, by saying, why do I have such an amazing team of people? It's because I'm attracting them. I'm inviting them. It just feels different. Tony says, why do I make others feel so nurtured and appreciated and seen and heard? I love that. All right. So in closing, I want to share a little poem. I love Rumi. And this poem, I wrote down in my notes when I was preparing today. When I run after what I think I want, my days are a furnace of distress and anxiety. If I sit in my own place of patience, what I need flows to me, and without any pain. From this, I understand that what I also wants me, looking for me, and attracting me. There is a great secret in this for anyone who's willing to grasp it.
Awesome.
And this is my way of explaining to you not only the law of attraction, but manifestation and all of those airy, fairy concepts that feel hard to embrace when your subconscious is saying, yeah, not really, not for me, but well, I can't, or I should. This practical way of coaching yourself into becoming the person that you desire to be makes sense from a linear action-taking standpoint of running a business. All right, I'm going to open up the floor and questions, insights, feedback, whatever you guys want. Unmute, let's chat.
You guys are all amazing.
Yeah, don't all go at one time.
Well, I was just saying, everybody here is amazing and you're truly like gifted.
As are you, my friend.
Susanna, I think I sound like that kid in the front who kept raising his hand and as a kind of a pest. Where I was going to ask, is this going to be on the test? The poem that you just read,
Yeah.
I was trying to write snippets of it, but it so beautifully summarizes
I'll
what
share
you
it.
shared with us today. That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll share it.
Who is that author?
Rumi. Rumi.
Rumi what?
Oh, Kyla just shared it in the chat.
Oh.
How
Oh,
did
that's
you,
just
did you
Rumi.
copy that from somewhere, please? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Because if you can type that fast, we need to talk.
I mean, yes.
A lot of
Why
us
can't
subscribe.
I?
We all
That's
subscribe to the work smarter, not harder.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I
Thank
think
you.
everyone needs a Suzanne in their life.
Oh,
I do, for
I
sure.
feel the same way
So
about you.
this is very much a like, what would Suzanne do moment for me, especially
WWSD.
when it comes to these questions.
Yeah.
Because you see me in a completely different light than I see me, which I
Mm.
appreciate very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And my hope for everyone here taking part in this system I've kind of created to bring this more into the tangible world for all of those more linear thinkers is that you will see that what I see in you, right? That you feel like you can accomplish whatever you set your mind to because you can coach yourself through that. Now, that might be losing me some business, right? If I teach people to coach themselves, but I often hear coaches I've had in the past on my shoulder asking me these powerful questions. And if you learn to do it for yourself, you'll be so much farther along in your business and your life journey. And that's my hope. Any other questions? Okay, I'll share all the questions, the poem, and the 4 squares on a worksheet for you all in the members area. You'll be able to download the poem, the worksheet, and the questions I will put. And if you're brave enough or you want feedback, there's a little thought bubble underneath Prosperity Plan. You can share any insights with the other people taking part in this challenge. And there's 30 some people signed up. So people are going to be watching the recordings. I encourage you to go to that spot and share any insights you've had from today, or just share how you're going to be showing up, especially Nolan, the Viking. Can you be a Viking for Halloween? I don't know. Just a thought. All right, I'm going to hit stop record.